$1,000. The number, not of this episode, but of a very important book we read this week. Sorry to mislead you here, but it is episode 70 of Comics Covered here. March 27th of 2019 is the day of the week of comics that we read.
What's the date? It's not a day of the week, is it now?
Okay, date. Well, but I mean, it's the date of the day of the week we base these episodes on. It's very confusing. Yeah. I still wonder if we should start dating these episodes by the actual day of release and not the day of comics release.
But I feel like it's for the week. Like,
yeah, and that was the idea. That's why we do it that way. But I feel like it might be confusing, and I feel like if you jump into the episode, you're like, oh, well, this is old. But
maybe.
Anyways, yeah, this is the episode for the week of comics release of March 27th, 2019. Again, episode 70 last week would have been episode 69.
Yeah, would have. It was.
You didn't say nice.
Oh.
It was episode 69. I was not on it. I hope you guys made lots of 69 jokes.
Doug, I want you to know that, first of all, I'm very upset that you didn't actually listen to it. And also,
I don't listen to the show ever. I don't listen to ones I'm on. I don't listen to ones I'm not on. I don't.
Is that because do you not like hearing the sound of your own voice?
Especially the ones I might go back and listen to the one with just you guys. I don't listen to the ones I'm on specifically. Yes, because I find it cringy listening to myself talk.
Huh. I love the sound of my own voice.
Oh, you sure do.
No, but Doug, I want you to know that, first of all, yes, I'm upset. Second of all, I want you to know that we, in fact, made sure everyone knew that 69 is not a funny number.
Yes.
It is not at all. We did talk
anyone say nice?
We did talk about evil granny nipples, though, on the show. A decent amount.
Evil granny nipple?
Yes.
Who?
You read Farmhand last week?
Yeah.
There were evil granny nipples.
I'm trying to remember them.
The evil mayor lady who has basically fucked with the mind of the daughter in that book shows up, and she has a flower coming out of her eye, and she has evil granny nipples coming through her shirt.
Okay. Now we're talking.
That was a 20-minute long in-depth conversation about the shape and how Rugby put a lot of dynamic movement into those nipples.
Really put some dynamic physics into those. Here at Comics Covered, when we're not talking about evil granny nipples, and I assure you this episode will have a much lower amount of that. We talk about comic books and the world around them. The comics industry, comic book movies, TV, games. We're really going to be talking specifically about the books this week, or one book in particular. We'll talk spoilers. We'll warn you about them. I'm Doug. I started reading comics first. I got Jack into comics. That's kind of why we do this show.
Yeah.
And Jack, you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm Jack. I am being introduced into the world of comics still. It's been a long process. But I'm learning new things every day. I will say this again at the end of the show, but I've been at WonderCon for Friday, Saturday, and I will be Sunday. And it's fucking crazy. It's nuts. I had no
Is
basis.
that the biggest con you've been to?
Holy shit, yeah. You have to remember, the only other two that I went to were this Cal Comic Con, which was just a couple rooms with people selling old comics. Then there was Long Beach Comic Con, which was just a singular, bigger, convention center style room, but still not a lot. This is fucking football fields worth of goddamn booths. And Samantha was telling me that it's different even than from Comic-Con, the layout of it, because Comic-Con, I guess, has more large company booths, where they have a bunch of like exciting things for their one company. This is just like a Comic-Con, but just on fucking crack. It's just, I got in there, I was so overwhelmed. It's so many little booths and just like different things that you can look around. I'm so fucking excited. We didn't even get to like the first row of booths yesterday. It was crazy.
God. Yeah. I'm curious how that, I get the impression it's bigger than like a C2E2, but I don't know.
I have no frame of reference whatsoever. It was crazy to me. I was like, I don't get overwhelmed very easily. I was absolutely overwhelmed.
Oh yeah. Big cons can definitely be overwhelming. Like your first time going to them. I mean, they're overwhelming fucking going your millionth time. Like, they're huge and they get fucking packed at a certain point of the day. Mm-hmm. And it's but they're great. I love them.
Oh my God. So. I've been having such a good time. It's been crazy. Yesterday I was posting on Instagram, our new Instagram, by the way, we should call that out right now. What's it called, Doug?
Yeah. Instagram.com/comicscovered. Do you use the like at on Instagram?
Yeah,
no.
I use at.
Do you? Okay. Well, at Comics Covered, I guess. All one word. If you want to find us on there. We don't have much posted on there yet. Jack posted a couple things from WonderCon, from the Batman 80th anniversary panel, and some other, a couple other random posts. But we'll be putting stuff on there, hopefully at a fairly regular clip going forward.
Yeah.
So follow us on there if you want to see more of our stuff.
There you go. But it was all really, really fun. I'm super excited. It's been great. Yeah.
Cool.
How's your week, Doug?
It was pretty good. We both, you and I, both saw the movie Us.
Oh yeah.
Which is fantastic. I don't think we have time to go into it very much, but it's Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out, and it's very good.
It's some awesome horror. Like the
craft in it is very, very strong.
Oh yeah. I'm always so surprised because like I came into that movie knowing absolutely nothing whatsoever. Like I had no idea. It was, I think it added a lot to my experience. Like I just had no idea where it was going to go. And with a movie like that, with such a cool concept and seeing how that concept affects the world, like, yeah, the scale of that movie was way different than I thought it was going to be. And how the story went, it was crazy. And it was nice being able to tell what it was going to be from, certain thematic foreshadowing, that literal foreshadowing in the beginning.
Oh boy. It's fantastic. Lots of really great twists and turns. And just a lot. I feel like there was a lot more humor in this one, than in Get Out, which I liked because, I like Jordan Peele also from his comedic work. So
I don't know if I agree with you about more humor than Get Out. There's a lot of humor in Get Out.
Get Out has humor, but Get Out is more like surreal and satirical, and it's just kind of a general sense of like, well, this is fucking weird and that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I guess so.
But this one had more like people saying one-liners.
I can see that. Yeah.
There was more like conversational humor in this one. In the way that you would more traditionally consider like comedic writing, but I don't know. I haven't seen Get Out in a while, so I'd have to rewatch it to really say if that's true or not.
I can feel that.
Anyways, other thing, I got real back into checking out the VR scene.
The VR scene, okay.
Yeah. It's a weird niche thing. I was looking through the catalog of stuff on PlayStation VR. I tried a demo of Astrobot Rescue Mission, and it's fucking great. So I downloaded it, and I've been playing that.
What is it about? What do you do?
It's a 3D character platformer, like a Mario or like a those kind of things. You're jumping from platforms, you're collecting coins, you're rescuing you're controlling a little robot guy. And there's other little robot guys, and you have to go find them and kick them, and then they fly into your controller. And So your controller's rendered in the game, and so like your little guy pops out of it in the beginning, and then all the little other robots like fly on jetpacks and land in it and then wave at you and then pop back in. It's very great. And it's just like, it's some of the best use of like playing with scale and like surprising you with big things, but then also allowing you to lean in and look at all these tiny little diorama like things.
Yeah.
And like, it just has this really fucking pleasant, happy atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's just like really, it's soothing. It's just very enjoyable to be in VR in that game. And it has some fucking really cool boss battle sequences also.
Wow.
So very, very clever mechanics, as well. So
That's
I highly
awesome.
recommend it for anybody out there who has a PlayStation VR. Those things are apparently selling much better than anyone would have expected. So,
Oh, really? Huh.
yeah. Yeah. How was your week?
My week was good. I haven't done much other than see us and these cons. Yeah,
Cons are a big thing.
The cons are a big thing. The WonderCon in Anaheim is the biggest thing that I've done. Can I say like what I went to yesterday? Here?
Sure.
Okay. So I went to 2 panels yesterday. Yesterday for me was Friday, to you people in the future. I went to first a celebration of 80 years of Batman, and the people on the panel were Sam Humphries was moderating, and I guess he writes.
He was moderating. I saw the picture you sent, and I could not tell who was the moderator. That's cool.
Yeah. And then what is it? Greg Capullo was there, which, by the way, he's very different from what I guess I don't know. I don't have any basis for these.
He is a personality.
He's awesome.
He is more or less the reason I think metal happened. He and Scott Snyder, apparently, the way they tell it, like, did not get along when they started Batman.
Oh, wow.
Like, they had very different personalities, and like Scott Snyder was this very, if you ever hear him talk, like he's this very quiet, intellectual, but excitable kind of person.
Yeah.
And then Greg Capullo is just a fucking bro.
Yeah,
like metal
totally.
bro. He's just kind of more loosey-goosey, like, and they had to like kind of adapt their styles to each other, mostly Scott Snyder. But then they became like really, really good friends over the course of doing that run. And so then I think Scott Snyder did metal as a kind of like, well, here's a thing that we can, that's kind of like more up your alley, so you can draw a bunch of metal shit.
Huh. I mean, I can feel that. Like, I can see that. Huh. But yeah, he's very different. It's crazy. It was really cool seeing him play off of everybody else. Then we had Peter Tomasi there, who's writing Detective Comics currently. He's writing, what is it? Who else? Joel Jones, and who's doing Catwoman, but who had some really great cool things to say about Catwoman. Makes me want to read that book.
Yeah, I've been wanting to read that book.
I heard it's good.
I fucking love her her art. She's so good.
She's great. Speaking of 1,000, she was great in this one too. Then Becky Cloonan, who recently did the art for Warren Ellis's part of Detective Comics. That's the only thing I know her from. But I've
seen her stuff around. I know I've read stuff that had Becky Cloonan art in it, but I feel like it was
Academy?
in more. I feel like the stuff I've read has been more in the like more of this anthology type stuff, so short story stuff.
Gotcha.
But I know she's done lots of bigger stuff.
She apparently writes this book called Gotham Academy about kids in Gotham. I don't know.
I don't think that exists anymore. Maybe it does. Anyways, that was a thing at some point.
I'm sure it was. I saw the covers. Then also Scott Snyder was there, which my Samantha and I fangirled. Both of us fangirled, and I fanboyed, I guess. And then
you did both.
Yes, and then Tom King, same thing. Like, yeah, that was awesome. So that was really cool. And then we saw the Legion, the show on FX, Legion, their panel at night, and that had full like Noah Hawley, Jeff Loeb, and then the full main cast, which was great. Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. I saw a clip of the season 3.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. That fucking show's so good.
Yeah, and I was fucking 5th in line to ask a goddamn question, and they fucking cut it off. I was so goddamn mad.
Oh,
can I tell you what my question was going to be?
Sure. I don't think I can answer it.
No, I was just,
yeah.
People in front of me were like, oh, what Marvel character would like you to work with? And then another guy said, what MCU character would be a good foil for, like...
What?
And I had a question. I had a better question, I think. I know I'm sounding conceited
ask them
right now.
interesting questions about the show.
Yeah, like I was going to ask, he's used music video like techniques to make a lot of his scenes really efficiently done, like beautifully done. And I was going to ask him like what genres of television he thinks that would work with, or what other TV shows out there he thinks that sort of format could work with also. I don't know. I thought that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Did you see, by the way, tiny tangent, did you see the trailer for Noah Hawley's new movie he has coming out?
I did. I saw it before us, actually. It was...
Yeah.
It looks... what is it? Natalie Portman something...
It's Lucy in the Sky.
Lucy in the Sky. It looks fucking awesome. Also...
Yeah, it's just like a fucking character drama about an astronaut played by Natalie Portman who is adjusting to life on Earth, but it's fucking told in that... It is kind of like Legion in that it's this very fucking surreal, mind-bending visuals kind of thing, which is a cool angle to see applied to something that's kind of a small character drama thing. Did
you see they kept changing the aspect ratio of it, and I think that means
in that trailer,
like in the movie theater that I saw it in, they kept changing the aspect ratio. I wonder if a lot of the scenes are going to be filmed in IMAX or something like that.
Or maybe he's just playing around with aspect ratio stuff. I don't know. I didn't notice.
Playing around. I don't know. But it looks like a lot of the scenes, like when she was going off into space and stuff, were
maybe it is IMAX.
It looked like that was the deal, but it was really, really defined. Like the aspect ratio change was like, oh god, and then like watching a family movie.
Interesting.
I'm
very excited for that. Anyways.
But it was a super fun time. I didn't get a lot of we didn't buy a lot of things there. This time we got a therapy book that was based around superheroes, which we think was cool. I got Ex Machina. I found that. Oh! Which was cool. The book one of that. For $3.
That book's so good.
And then I bought another guy's, first issue, which is called Myopia, which looks really, really cool. Interesting art coming out from Dynamite. Cool. I got a free, trade of Umbrella Academy with that purchase.
A trade? Oh, I've never heard of people just throwing a whole trade into something. That's cool.
Yeah. I was really confused. Like, I was thinking about getting it anyways, and then they said, oh yeah, and you get this free book of Umbrella Academy with it. I was like, I'll do that. $4 for...
yeah. 2 trades? That's cool.
I'm going back today to see if I get his second issue, if I get the second trade, because they have the second trade there too. So
that's funny.
That's something I have now. Super happy.
That's cool.
Excited to read the guy's new issue too, obviously, but I'm really excited for Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, Umbrella Academy is great. The show is okay.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people really like the show. I have issues with the show, but I enjoyed it overall.
Okay.
But the comic is fantastic.
Spoken like a true comic book aficionado.
No, I don't think. I think the movie version of Winter Soldier is probably a better version of the Winter Soldier story than the comic of Winter Soldier. It's a great comic. It's a fantastic comic, but I think the movie is more focused.
I got you. I was just making fun of
you.
I
don't know. I have issues on like a storytelling, filmmaking, whatever perspective with the show. Anyways, yeah. And I also went to C2E2 this last week.
Yes, you did.
I guess we didn't talk about that because I wasn't on last week's show for that reason. And it was a really good time.
Loved your unboxing preview, by the way.
Yeah. That episode of Mashing Buttons, which is my friends who I was visiting, have a video game podcast called Mashing Buttons. So I guested on there when I was visiting them. And we all bought mystery boxes from C2E2, which if you've never been to a con, there's almost always a booth selling mystery boxes or multiple booths. And so it's like you buy a box and usually they're themed. So they bought Marvel ones and I bought a DC one, and they're kind of expensive, but they tell you like, oh, it's worth $100, but it's only 50 or whatever. They got bigger ones than me. They got they got more expensive ones than I did. And I got one slightly cheaper, but still expensive.
It's like I watched your video, and I'm glad you answered the age-old question of, are Superman and the Flash gay with each other? And you did. So I'm glad. I got two little cute Superman and Flash plushies, and they just looked like they should kiss. So they did. You made them
cute. And I found out, by the way, after that video, that those are dog toys. And my dog has been playing with them and loves
Raven.
them. They're great.
So you're saying Raven is an overlord to Superman and the Flash now?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes, she's been chewing them up and asking us to throw them for her.
DC
and
continuity,
they've been screaming
right?
the whole time.
Wow.
What now?
DC continuity, right?
Uh-huh. Fucking weird. All right. Let's move on.
Okay.
So let's talk about, very, very briefly, about some news before we talk about our one book we're going to talk about. The two big things that interested us, at least. So, Jonathan Hickman, you didn't actually know this, left Marvel like 5 years ago-ish, something like that. Whenever Secret Wars ended. Secret Wars was the last thing he did for them.
Shit.
So he went to go work on his creator-owned stuff, and they've been Marvel has been teasing some new big event thing. They had a thing about something about adaptation, blah, blah, blah. It was just like a white page with text on it. Last month, and then this month they had just a white page that said Hickman. So he was coming back to do a book, and then this week they announced he is doing 2 new X-Men books, House of X and Powers of X. I think they're miniseries. I think not 100% on that, but 2 new X-Men books. So I'm fucking pumped for that.
I mean, should be bonkers. I mean, are you? Because I know you were always worried about reading X-Men stuff because of the long history that you don't know a lot about. Like, do you foresee that being an issue with these?
I feel like with a Hickman book like this, I think his stuff tends to be fairly standalone in a way that, like, I don't think it's going to have to depend on me knowing a bunch of X-Men history.
Okay.
So I'm fairly confident I'll be able to understand it.
I mean, I'm super excited. I've been reading like this new this old X-Men stuff. Like, I just downloaded all 544 issues of what is it, X-Men? Like old X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, I guess. And it looks so cool. It's my first stuff from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Wow. Yeah. I'm curious to hear about that stuff. I've never read the original X-Men stuff, so
I will tell you. I will tell.
Yeah. So yeah, that's happening. And then DC Universe, DC's combined comics and streaming service subscription, announced that they are. So they've been slowly adding comics to that service, but they've also been cycling stuff out as they've been adding stuff. So I'm curious exactly what this means, but they claim. So everyone's been putting up headlines saying like DC Universe brings the full comic catalog to subscribers. And I was reading the article. I'm not 100% sure that's exactly accurate, but they say we're giving you thousands more. Looking at their news article on their site, it says at no extra charge or increase in the price of a subscription, DC Universe subscribers will be enjoy access to DC's enormous digital comics library. So I assume that means everything they've digitized.
Yeah, I would think so.
It says starting in April of this year, each of these book comics will appear at least 12 months after it was first published. So basically, anything as recent as 1 year ago. Which makes the service on a comic side much more akin to, it basically makes it into Marvel Unlimited for DC, plus TV shows.
Yeah.
Which, if they're at least right now not raising their subscription prices, makes that a very good deal. Because that's been one of my main complaints about DC Universe, other than their fucking app being buggy as hell, is just that like the comic selection there's a lot, but it's spotty.
Yeah.
And it's very focused on the big characters.
Well,
it's a lot of Batman stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Superman stuff. It's some Wonder Woman stuff and almost nothing else.
Hey, I've been enjoying Starman, and I have Animal Man on there that I'm going to read. Yeah. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, they've been adding stuff, and there is some of that kind of stuff. The more classic kind of side character runs, but it sounds like this will be pretty much everything. I mean, not everything will probably have been digitized because they haven't really been doing a lot of digital comic stuff up until this service.
Yeah.
Other than recent stuff. So, like classic old stuff will probably roll in continually. But, yeah, I hope that means it'll be the end of them rotating stuff out, because I keep wanting to read stuff and then it'll just disappear. So if it's the case that it'll be that robust, I'm definitely going to stick around, because, I am definitely interested in having the full access to their library like that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pumped. There's so much I want to go back and read. It's crazy. I also, didn't they announce like the actual date that Swamp Thing's going to premiere? It's like May 29th, right?
Not sure. I know they did. I don't know I don't recall when they said that was coming out. Did they announce?
Sorry. I just realized this.
It says May 31st.
May 31st. There we go. I wasn't lying.
Which is soon, That's like 2 months, just 2 months away.
About, right, March, April, May. Yeah, that's right. It's 2 months away.
Yeah, and then they very, very quickly, they also released an image of Stargirl.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Which looks cool.
Looks cool.
Yeah. I'm very curious if that show will be a thing I will enjoy. But I've liked their other shows. I really like Doom Patrol, and Titans was surprisingly good, I think.
Okay, cool. Did you finish Titans, by the way?
Yeah, it's pretty short. It's much shorter than Doom Patrol is going to be.
Wow.
It's like 8 episodes or less.
Oh damn. Okay.
I think. Anyways, cool. So that's going to do it for news. Let's talk about the thing we're really here to talk about today.
Yes.
And that is Detective Comics 1000.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Peter Cannon Thunderbolt.
We're going to spend the next half hour or more on Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. Yeah, so Detective Comics 1000 came out this week. We read it. We picked up some other books, though, so let's run down what we all picked up this week.
Yeah.
Jack, you wanna list off what we both picked up?
I will do that. We had Black Hammer, Age of Doom, number 9. Black Science, number 39, The Return. Daredevil, number 3. Detective Comics 1000. Heroes in Crisis, number 7. Ice Cream Man, number 11. Invaders, number 3. Martian Manhunter, number 4. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, number 3. Shazam, number 4. Action Comics, number 1009. Terrifics, number 14. And I Had Alone, Isola, number 7. Maneaters, number 7. And Skyward, number 11.
Yeah, very big week.
Jesus.
I also picked up Amazing Spider-Man number 18, Dial H for Hero number 1, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, The Tempest number 6, and Umbrella Academy number 6.
Nice. I also had that book that I was talking about a couple weeks ago, Jesus Freak, in my pull this week, so I'm very happy I got that. It looks super cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's on art on that?
Benjamin Marra.
Okay, Ben Marra. Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I've seen the name.
Oh, well, there you go. I have too.
Okay. So here's your spoiler warning. We are going to talk specifically about Detective Comics 1000. We're going to talk spoilers about that. Jack. Wow.
Yeah.
That was the most melodic version of the spoiler warning sound we've had.
That was the exact
I enjoyed that.
I was going for that, actually. Melodic, specifically. Thank you.
Yeah. But usually those sounds are, and I mean this in just the nicest way possible, excruciating.
Oh, okay.
But that was quite pleasant. So yeah, spoiler warning, we're going to talk about this book. So, Detective Comics 1000. So it is both the 1000th issue of Detective Comics if you add up all of the various runs. I don't know who's fucking doing that math.
Seriously, some intern.
I trust them that they have done that correctly because there've been a whole bunch of runs and specials and I don't know what counts, but
what if it's not? Anyways, and we like go into this whole thing where we start like adding up all of them and we find out that it doesn't add up and we go to them with this big conspiracy and they just look at us and they're like, okay.
All right.
The DC people.
Yeah. So yeah, it is both the 1000th issue of Detective Comics cumulatively and the 80th anniversary this year of the creation of Batman, of Detective Comics #1. So, we've taken a break from the normal storyline to have this 96-page giant, and I want to say to that, just add 4 more pages.
What?
Just add 4 more pages. Oh. Why is it 96? Make it 100.
I mean, I guess so. Makes sense. Like, were there even ads in this?
I don't recall seeing any ads.
I don't think there are any ads in this.
God, there weren't any ads. How beautiful.
Wow.
Wow.
That's nice.
So yeah, this is a big issue, anthology type thing. If you read Action Comics 1000, it was a very similar thing. It is a very similar thing to that.
Bigger than Action Comics 1000, right? And it was more money.
Is it bigger?
I think that one was 80 pages. And I think that then, so this is 16 pages bigger. And sure. I think that,
I think there were a lot more like splash page pin-up-y things.
I remember there was one specific splash page, like, story, but I don't remember any other ones.
Oh, there was a story that was a bunch of splash pages, but I mean, like, they had a bunch of, like, and here's just some art from an artist. I feel like there was more of that stuff in Action Comics 1000. Anyway, sorry, getting sidetracked. Anthology thing. So let's talk about some of the stories that kind of stood out to us.
First off, we're just going to go one by one, right?
Yeah, if we have time. So, first story here was the return of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
Speaking of the panel you attended, to a just straight up Batman story, and
the longest case.
That's the opener here. Yeah. Batman's longest case, and I found this story to be just a fucking pleasant return to form for them, I feel like.
You mean just like him just finding out a mystery and like just nice like human level like interactions at the end? Yeah.
Just simple kind of like introspective Batman story. There's a nice mystery at the beginning that we're following him, like following up all these clues. There's a reveal at the end. There's like philosophical ideas about kind of specific. It's a nice opener to this special because it's like about the idea of being a detective and how Batman is at his heart a detective and like what that means for who he is as a person and for these other people like him. And so, yeah, this is the kind of shit that I loved about their run on Batman. And it's very grounded and very, I think that having that kind of restraint is what I want at this point from Scott Snyder specifically story. But it was also amazing seeing him and Greg Capullo work on something like this.
Absolutely. Are they going to follow up on a Detective Guild like in the future?
I don't know.
I hope so. I would love to see this.
It would be very fun. Yeah. If like Tomasi worked them into his run somehow or something, someone will pick it up again at some point. I don't think there's immediate plans.
Yeah.
But
it just looks like such a cool team, and I want it so badly. Yeah. I love how Batman's just so angry at first. Like, he's like, God damn.
Yeah, he's been fucking chasing up this lead for years.
Yeah.
Decades. if you want to, I mean, depending on how much you want to fudge the timeline here. But
I mean, is the first thing he's talking about where it starts? Is that his first case? His like debut?
I'm assuming it's Detective Comics #1. He's got the purple gloves, and I think that's only from his first issue.
Okay. That's
although year zero or zero year,
Yeah.
Snyder and Capullo's early Batman story had or kind of pre-Batman story, I guess, had him wear purple gloves for a bit of it.
Whatever. I will
Anyways.
say that on this first page of this book, not the first page, the first one that you turn to, I was a little confused at first on how to read it.
Oh yeah, which way to go?
I was like reading, what is it? These first 3 panels, like one after the other, like up to down. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I kind of can piece around this story, but not really.
You gotta,
at all.
if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna do a horizontal across 2 pages layout, it's one of my biggest pet peeves in comics. Like, you gotta have something overlap.
Yeah.
You gotta have this first panel, like, just kind of overlap a little bit onto the next page, so I know that, like, it's kind of frustrating. But
I mean,
once you realize what's happened, I like saw it and immediately had this moment of like, okay, which way does it go? I have to read all 3 of these panels.
Yeah.
This first one, and then the one to the right, and the one below it, and go, which one does it go to? And it made more sense to go right, so
I read the whole page wrong, and then I read it all again.
That's so confusing.
But it was honestly, it was like kind of like decoding a mystery, like decoding a code. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was the intent. Yeah.
It's not a bug; it's a feature.
Yeah, but he meets a group, the Guild of Detection. And it's all the kind of big detective characters in the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's Detective Chimp, it's Martian Manhunter, it's The Question, Elongated Man. I'm assuming that's Sue Dibney, because they brought her back to life at one point. I fucking hate it. He was also dead. And
wouldn't New 52 bring her back anyways?
No, because they brought her back after the New 52, and I don't know exactly what, because they brought him back, and he was still grieving over her death.
Oh, well.
And then they brought her back in that story. So, sigh. Anyways, we've also got Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and this character, Slam Bradley, who I know nothing about.
Is he just I wonder if he's just an old, like, detective from back in the day.
He just seems like he's a detective. It's like a PI. I don't know.
Weird. I didn't realize that the Hawk people were detectives.
Yeah, they kind of like, not like officially like detectives, but like, yeah, they're kind of they're detectives.
Because Carter Hall is an archaeologist,
they solve mysteries,
right?
Yes, but also Scott Snyder has specifically kind of done a lot of retconning-y stuff about them, like delving into the mysteries of the universe, the DC universe and stuff. So that might be more a him thing. I don't know.
I can understand it.
Anyways, yeah, they're the one kind of odd man out, or people. But they're there. It's cool. It's cool to just see a group of characters like this. I really hope they do more with them.
Yes. Maybe they can give that story to James Tynion IV and Alvaro Martinez Bueno. So go with your thing.
God, yeah. I just, if they just break everybody in the DC universe into discrete teams, and then just have them make those books, all of the books, and that's all the books.
Yeah. They don't even have to have the whole team be a part of every single arc. Like, they can have an arc where, like, this person breaks off from the team, but if they come back to the team, they can sort of still use that.
Their formula for, like, just writing team books that are just a smattering of kind of random but loosely connected characters in the DC universe. I just think it works so fucking well, and it's the most, like, DC universe kind of shot of of that I get out of their comics these days. I I want more of it.
I mean, we'll talk about their story later, but like I think that shows it on a more decompressed level, like how their interactions between people is amazing. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. So after this, we got a story by Kevin Smith and Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Which was it was fun.
It was fun. I liked Jim Lee's art more than the writing. Like the writing's fine. It was good.
The writing is I took me a couple pages to realize how Kevin Smith is kind of trying to do the like Alan Moore thing here of like dropping a word in the caption that like is like tied to the visual in a very direct way.
Yes.
But he does it in every panel.
Yeah.
So it's basically just panels of Batman fighting different villains, but every time, like he's fighting Mr. Freeze, and it says, "But if you got the cold hard cash,"
or when he's fighting a Penguin, lots of things can fall under that umbrella.
Yeah, and like a couple of those are fun.
Yeah,
every panel is like, okay, all right, what do you do? Why are we doing this? Like, there's no meaning. It loses the meaning.
Yeah,
at a certain point. But like, I don't know. It was like after a while, it just started becoming like, okay, what's the pun he's gonna make here? But yeah, it was fun. I like what they do at the end of the story.
It is
more
nice.
than anything else in the story.
Is that like? Do you think that's like canon now?
It seems like it. Yeah,
cool.
I mean, it's a small detail. I wonder if they'll reference it again. So yeah, so he finds a dealer who's selling the gun that murdered his parents. And Alfred's at the end like, dude, you don't keep that. That's not healthy. And Batman is like, no, I'm not keeping it. Or I'm not like, it's not a trophy.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know what he's saying. He melts it down and makes it into a plate of armor for his chest, which is still kind of fucked up.
It is.
But they make a nice little metaphor about it, like turning his tragedy into his strength.
Well, that's actually was one of the cool things about the panel that I went to yesterday. They talked about like what is the essence of Batman, what makes him so like iconic and so, able to be continued on into the years. And it was becoming a victor out of being a victim, Yeah. And that's what this story is. And I do like that sort of idea. Just like, I just like the art more than the writing in times.
Yeah, for sure.
Jim Lee's awesome.
Kevin Smith snuck his villain onomatopoeia.
What's
into
that?
A panel.
Where's
it's the guy with the black mask and the yellow rings on it.
I was wondering what the fuck that was.
If you know do you know what the word onomatopoeia means?
Bam.
Yeah. He is a villain who says the sound effects that would be made by things he does.
Huh.
He just kind of mutters them, like he says, like, bam, and then he'll shoot a gun.
Huh.
So, that's a thing. Anyways,
oh, you know what I just noticed, by the way? I didn't realize that every single one of these panels where the bad guys are getting a hit on Batman, the hit is to his chest. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically, like this is the most vulnerable part of him.
Okay.
It's this big fucking target. They specifically gave him the big yellow bat symbol.
Yeah.
In this story.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Whatever. The next story is one of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah. So this is a Paul Dini of Batman the Animated Series fame.
Yeah.
The showrunner / writer of a lot of the episodes from that show.
Speaking of, by the way,
Dustin Nguyen.
Oh yeah.
Who's fucking an amazing artist from books like Descender. He's done Batman stuff before in the form of Lil Gotham and some other stuff. But I think they worked together specifically on a Detective Comics run, or what was it? They had a Batman book together at some point.
Huh.
I can't recall what it was called.
I don't think it was one.
Streets of Gotham.
Oh. I've never heard of it. I read the only Paul Dini thing I've read was great, and it was his Batman: A True Story. It was about his like autobiographical like experience, kind of writing Batman. It was very, very cool. I highly recommend it. But this was about it's like through the eyes of a journalist, theoretically asking different criminals about this one henchman that's gone down in the ages as the most idiotic henchman that fucks everything up. And
he's the in a world full of henchmen in the Batman universe. He is the worst henchman. Yeah, and everybody's telling their horror stories about like how he fucked their heist up or whatever.
Newt Brody.
Yeah. And the fucking reveal at the end, you kind of see coming, but it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I love it. Turns out that all of the sidekick characters have been taking turns disguising themselves as Newt Brody, and then getting themselves onto the teams of different villains to sabotage them. It's so good.
It's awesome. Which villain's horror story do you like the best?
Who?
My favorite is Poison Ivy's probably, or Riddler's actually. I think
Riddler's is very good because I fucking love the change of like Riddler trying to put on the face of like, oh, I found it actually more amusing than anything. And then you tell the story of how he just like fucked up for like in the most absurd way possible, where he like he accidentally saw the code to the puzzle Batman's supposed to solve and memorized it. Like, why? And then Batman immediately knows to go to him.
Yeah.
And gets the code from him. And then with a go after Riddler, and he's like, oh, wait, no, fuck that guy. I would have killed him too.
Because he says he's scary. Like, it's just, because he says he tells him that, yeah, it's just, I love that. That was my favorite one, probably.
It's a great story. We've got this Warren Ellis, Becky Cloonan one.
Yeah.
That's kind of just Batman fucking people up.
It's a taster.
What do you mean by that?
It's like a taster. It's it's not a full thing. It's just a little like a sip, I mean, I like it. It's really cool. It shows off like her art, which I really, really enjoy. And
I was really, really impressed by Becky Cloonan's art on this.
And I really liked like how the story progressed through the panels with all the different explosions going on. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I really, really liked this. Like, short but sweet, I say.
Yeah, it's Warren Ellis writing a fucking really well choreographed fight scene. It's something he does really well. Mm-hmm.
And I thought the ending was like, it was sort of Batman, I don't know, saving the last guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was happy about that because the rest of this story did feel like he was really fucking the rest of these people up.
Yeah.
In ways that felt a little brutal. Mm-hmm. And I was happy that the last guy, he like made a point of like, I'm horrible and I've made my peace with that, but like, you don't have to be. Like, you have a chance to save yourself. And so that was kind of the point of the story. And I did like that.
Batman was basically saying, I'm Badman.
Oh, God.
We'll get to that later.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so Denny O'Neil, Steve Epting?
Is that this story?
That's this next one, yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so we've got Denny O'Neil, who did a classic run on Batman, so they always try to bring back some of the classic teams. We've got another story later with Neil Adams' art. So those are, I'd say, like, these are Bronze Age, I think. So that's, like, the era in between Silver Age and Modern Age.
Interesting. I don't know. Like, I don't have any. Is that 90s?
It's like 80s, 90s.
Wow.
But so Denny O'Neil and then Steve Epting, his art is great. The story looks great.
So you're not a big fan. What's wrong with this one?
It's just really on the nose. I don't know. It's him with Leslie Tompkins, and it's just her being like, oh, you've let this take over your life. And he's just like, no, I'm using it or whatever. And then he punches a bunch of kids and she's sad for him.
I mean, they do have a gun.
Badman thing wasn't in this one. Where's the bad? Is that in the next one?
No, that's in the last one.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this one's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of whatever. I love the art. It's just kind of like, okay. Like, I don't know. I don't really like the use of, the flash forward of what they're going to say for such a short story. It doesn't feel like you did anything. Like, what's the point?
No. it felt unmotivated. I don't know. It's like, it's a very simple kind of, it works more when you put it in the context of it being a more classic writer. That it's this very kind of first pass idea of like what you would say about Batman. That like I feel like we've kind of moved beyond, like, say something more complex.
Yeah.
With the character. Anyways, it's fine. Steve Epting's art looks great.
Definitely.
Someone who probably grew up reading Denny O'Neil Batman comics probably would enjoy seeing his writing again more. I don't have any connection to that.
So. Okay.
Oh well. We have a story from Christopher Priest and Neil Adams, classic DC artist. So kind of flip-flopped from the last one. Yeah.
It felt
again, it's okay.
This one felt like it would have been a really great one issue, but it was just so shortened to like just the format that they needed that I just felt like it didn't really hit. You know what I mean? Yep.
I think it works better than that last one. Like, we get more of a kind of detective story with Batman. He's kind of tracking down where this kid who got murdered came from, and turns out, he was a former member of the League of Assassins who's like trying to escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I like the ideas in it. Yeah, it does feel very abrupt.
Mm-hmm.
The next one's great.
I fucking love. This is probably might be my favorite one.
Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Malev, doing a tale of old Batman.
Yeah.
And old Penguin, and Penguin talking about how he figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Mm-hmm. This art really shines, but
I love Alex Malev. He's great.
What he puts over it, like the writing over it, is great too. I just want to make sure, like, the designs that he writes in here, that he draws the villains in, like this page with Joker talking to the villains. I fucking love like Bruce Wayne in the club looking like a doofus. I love the Penguin and how he's drawn in this. It's so fucking...
There are some pages here where not every panel, but there's a page specifically I'm looking at where he is just Danny DeVito.
Yes, absolutely.
Where the one where he's looking at the computer.
Yeah, I'm looking at that one now. Yeah.
He is literally just Danny DeVito. Like,
I'll take it.
But it looks great. I'll take it. And then, so Bruce Wayne's old in a wheelchair, and Penguin's also old, and he's basically just kind of like, this is how, telling the story of it, this is how I knew it was you. And then in the end, Bruce Wayne fucking shocks him, and oh god.
Because Penguin thought he couldn't talk, but then he tells him, I knew you knew, I just thought you were a coward. What is it? Same way I knew what a coward you were.
Yeah. It's fucking great. It's got great Bendis dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Big fan.
I really like this panel.
Great panels.
Yes.
Of Batman stuff.
I do love this panel also of him shocking, like with Penguin in midair with the little things coming out at him. That shit is great. Is whip a thing that he says a lot?
I don't know if that's normally how people... I've seen it written out in different ways, but I think that's supposed to be his, his like Penguin sound that some people have him do.
I haven't read I haven't read any things with him, so
I don't know. I could just not be familiar with it, but I've never seen it spelled that way. It didn't exactly. I got what they were doing, and so I just internalized it as the sound whenever I saw it.
I gotcha.
But it doesn't read as that sound to me. But whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Jeff Johns and Kelly Jones.
Yeah. So it is a story Honestly, I was confused at a number of points during this.
I was too, but I kind of got it I think at the end. So it's in the far-flung future, it seems. Not in the general future, not far-flung. But, we got the whole family. I guess Catwoman is the mom, and we got a daughter who's Cat Batwoman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like both. It's weird.
And then Damian Wayne, of course, and then Batman looking all Batman-y. But they, I guess, are at this birthday party with poison cake, and someone's, they have to figure out who's, emulating crimes or something. They're like, is it Holiday Man or whatever? No, it turns out it's the son of the Joker. I don't know.
Well, it was the son of the Joker who then, I was confused. Is this body son of the Joker, or did he kill himself?
I think so. I'm sick as he was. I'm grateful for that, because without family, what are we? I mean, yeah.
They said the Joker. I just got word the Joker died last night, and Batman's surprised. So it's new the Joker died. So if the Joker's dead, then who is this? So or who did this? Never mind. So I think this is son of Joker, who appears to have also killed himself in this act
because the Joker died.
Is that what it was?
I think so. And then I think I think the end thing is like supposed to be depressing, because that was sort of a dream sequence for Batman to feel like doesn't have anybody around him. But it seems to be an opposite thing of what the next story says.
Totally missed the idea that was all a wish. Okay.
Yeah, it was all a wish.
I totally did not understand that.
Because they're lighting the candles at the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That, at least I contextually get what it's supposed to be now. So he was, but so what? I'm not entirely sure I get what the wish was supposed to mean. But
I think the wish was so that he would have a family, but it's like he does, and that's what the later story goes into, and so it's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, I'm not entirely sure what that story is going for.
It's very contradictory to Tom King's story in this book.
Yeah. Next thing I'm much more excited to talk about.
Oh, fuck yeah.
This is probably my favorite story. This is The Precedent, written by James Tynion IV with his frequent collaborator, as before mentioned, Alvaro Martinez Bueno.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically a story about Batman deciding whether or not he should adopt Dick Grayson because of the precedent it will set. Because it's not, he says, we can't fool ourselves into thinking this will be the only time we'll see that look in a young person's eyes and know we have to do something. So he's foreseeing that, because he fucking does do this a billion times, see kids who are hurting like he was hurting, for whatever reason, and take them in and incorporate them into his fight on crime.
Some of these splash pages where that Alvaro Martinez Bueno draws are just so cool, and they're busy, but they're so easy to follow. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The way they're structured, and I love that I love the drawing of young Dick Grayson in this too. Yeah. They both look and feel exactly as you would imagine them to look and feel, and they I love the personality that Tynion gives to Dick Grayson in this. And it's an idea that I haven't seen anyone kind of address. Yeah. That was a lot of people have written about Dick Grayson joining him, and but not about this idea that what if Bruce Wayne could kind of see that if he starts doing this wouldn't be the first time. I think that's a fascinating idea, and kind of the ultimate resolution they come to here, I think, is so. I think it says a lot about kind of why he would do this, and how doing this could actually kind of have the opposite effect that the trauma had for him as a kid. Yeah. Absolutely. I was reading this, and a lot of these stories, I'm just thinking, I actually started thinking I love Batman, and it's great, but sometimes the same water does get tread, and I feel like the same sort of ideas are just offered up in different executions, different art styles, which I love still. But, you know, it needs to have new things. And this one really, really made me feel like I'm reading a new Batman story. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Like, this is the most, I think, unique and insightful story in, like, that has the best combination of the two things. Like, it has something new to say about Batman. And Robin, Dick Grayson, and kind of about kind of the whole sequence of sidekicks through that.
Also, can I just say one of my favorite things about Batman is when Alfred gives him guidance. It's one of my favorite fucking things. Like, I don't know, like, Batman's great and he's smart and he does everything right or whatever, but I love the idea. I love the presence that Alfred gives him in his life. And this kind of stuff just shows that no, Batman is not always right. You know, like I have a point, you know, I just love that shit.
Yeah. Alfred is kind of the calm voice of reason in his life, but also a kind of, his position is so fascinating because he's kind of his father, but also he's his butler.
Yeah.
And so he's like trying to give him guidance without being too pushy because there's this weird thing of like, he's his parental figure, but also he has to kind of also know his place, and it's weird.
Yeah.
And he has to kind of tread that line.
I feel that.
And it's fascinating. And I think, people who write him well, like it's among the best things about Batman.
Yeah. I love this shit.
Yeah.
I love that we got a Dr. Pig in this villain?
Professor Pig, yeah.
Professor Pig.
That was it. Professor Pig bit in this. Or just an image of him.
And I love that panel because you can really see it in both. Because on the panel, the writing is Batman talking about how this city can be dark and overwhelming and everything, and it has all the villains looking down on them, and Batman shielding Robin. But then Alfred offers up the fact that Robin will see it as a sense of adventure, and I love that you can see that in, you know, it does look like it's overwhelming because they're overwhelming them literally on the page, but they are exciting. It's adventure. It has colors. It has, you know, people who are crazy, but you know, they have that strength to meet them with that. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was really, really cool. Like the difference in that one image.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We're running out of time here,
Sorry.
but let's talk about these last two ones, if we can.
Yes. Let's do it.
So we've got, this is Tom King and Tony Daniels. And Joelle Jones.
Yeah.
I missed it was both of them. Okay. The three of them doing this story, Batman's Greatest Case. What was this one, Jack?
This one, I was really excited because I think that a lot of people, for some reason, think that Tom King writes all of his characters the same. I think shit like this story can make them shove that opinion up their asshole. I knew every single character who was talking every single time that this was happening, even though they weren't these word bubbles aren't associated with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has a very good kind of grasp on these characters' relationships to each other, specifically.
Yes.
And how they interact.
Yes.
I love how he writes Dick and Damian together. He's done that a few times in his Batman run in small moments. He kind of gets that being kind of core to making Damian work in a way that most people don't. Because they were Batman and Robin together, for a long time. Or a little bit anyways.
I did not know that.
So we've got all these little small exchanges between these characters and kind of how they relate to each other while Bruce Wayne is at his parents' grave. He shows up. I'm confused why Catwoman's there. When does this take place?
Yeah, that's a little weird, but hey.
Especially because it's coming from Tom King.
Whatever.
But
it happened at some point. But basically this whole thing is then the family is on a rooftop together, and they don't know why. Batman has called them all there for an important thing. And then we have interspersed scenes of Bruce Wayne walking to his parents' grave with his head hanging low, rain going everywhere. Batman shows up to the rooftop, and it's apparently because, you know, he wanted to take a picture with everybody there. And I don't know everybody in this image. I know almost everybody, but these 3 characters on the side, I don't know. On the right side.
Well, there's the one in black with her hood down is that's Orphan.
Orphan. Is that Harper Row?
Cassandra Cain. What?
Wait, Cassandra Cain is Batwoman, isn't it?
No, that's Kate Cain.
Oh shit. Okay.
Who is on the left? Cassandra Cain. Not related. Their name is spelled differently.
Interesting.
I'm not sure why, but Cain as opposed to Kane. Anyways,
gotcha.
She is. She's a cool Batman character. She used to be a Batgirl. Also used to be a Batgirl. The girl above her with the purple hood who talks about making out with Tim Drake earlier.
Yeah.
That is Spoiler.
Okay.
Yep. That is Stephanie Brown.
Interesting.
So those are two former Batgirls. I don't know if that's canon anymore, but that's where they came from.
Interesting. The other one?
And then Huntress.
Oh, that is Huntress. Okay. She looks so light and playful compared to Huntress from the 90s and stuff, you know?
Yeah, a little bit. Huntress, I don't know when they reintegrated her into the Bat family because she hasn't been a part of it since as far as I've known.
Okay.
But she's been around for a little bit. Anyways.
Whatever happened to Harper Row? That was such a big thing about Scott Snyder's...
It was, but then they had her kind of retire. She left crime fighting.
So she hasn't been back ever since.
She's been around. She popped up. She's roommates with either Stephanie or Cassandra. One of them.
Huh.
So she was in Tynion's Detective Comics run.
Oh, interesting.
But as a side character and not fighting crime.
Okay.
Well. So she's been around, but not as Bluebird anymore. So the reveal is that he was getting them all together to just take a family picture, and that I really like the idea of this, but he brings the photo to his parents' grave and he puts it on their grave.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bruh, what if someone saw that?
Oh.
Doesn't that kind of give away who you are?
I guess so. Yeah, that's kind of... I didn't really think about that.
But it's a nice idea.
It is a nice idea. He's smiling at it, you know.
Yeah, that he's kind of he has opened himself up to have this whole new family.
Mm-hmm.
And that they should be... He thinks his parents would be happy for him.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It's very nice. It was a nice story. Yeah. And a really cool image.
We got a couple nice splash pages here.
Yeah.
By some different Batman art-related artists.
Is it weird to you that Catwoman is at the center? But it also makes sense. I really
fucking love that whole image, and it bothers me that Catwoman is the main fucking thing in the middle of it. If this was a Catwoman book, I'd be like, that's great, that looks awesome. But it's something about it, Catwoman being so central to it really ties it to this moment in time, in that Catwoman is an important part of Batman's life.
Yeah.
In that she's kind of central to his book in some ways. But
oh wait, yeah, I was gonna say one of my favorite things was, sorry, maybe I'll just post it on Twitter. Never mind.
Okay. Last story here is a lead into Peter Tomasi and actually I don't know if Doug Monkey's doing the art on this.
He did the art for this, but he
did the art for this.
He is not.
I don't know if he's doing the art.
He's not doing the art for 1001 to 1005. They said that yesterday, actually.
Yeah, was that Brad Walker?
I
don't remember.
I think that's what the name they said. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But anyways,
basically have narration.
I think he's You think he's basically, other than it all being Doug Monkey, the equivalent of the story Tomasi did in Action Comics 1000. Although this being tied into, because he's actually writing this book, because it's a bunch of splash pages.
Yeah.
Of him fighting various villains.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that's the idea, with the narration of who we find out is Arkham Knight at the end.
Yeah. So the Arkham Knight is kind of espousing kind of why he thinks Batman is bad for Gotham.
Batman. Oh, it's Badman.
Oh God, yeah. He talks about Badman at one point, as if that's insightful. And he says, "Say it fast, Badman." Yeah, it's. I don't like that.
It just makes him sound like an insane person, honestly.
It does, which I guess works. Sure. But, anyways, I thought that was kind of silly.
It was very silly.
I like the kind of his philosophy here that he's talking about as a villain. I'm curious to see what they do with the Arkham Knight. I think it could have the potential to crash and burn. They're plucking him out of the Arkham games.
Yeah.
Out of the Arkham Knight games.
But it does not have to do with the continuity of that game.
No. It's a new version of Arkham Knight. Yeah. I mean, I love these splash pages.
They're great, but yeah.
They're good.
Unfortunately, no more Doug Monkey art. Till 2005, at least. Apparently, after that, maybe.
Yeah, I assume he'll be back on that book at some point. I don't know specifically, but
yeah, they're beautiful. But yeah, it's the whole thing. I think I liked Action Comics better in general. I think they had more of a variety of new ideas and interesting ideas. But this, the James Tynion IV, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, that story might be my favorite thing. Or the Paul Dini one, too. Yeah.
I think that James Tynion one might also be my favorite of the two books.
Yeah.
I think this one was, more, had a more solid kind of foundation. Like there was a higher baseline of stories, I think.
Yeah.
But I think Action Comics had higher highs other than that one story. There were more stories that were really great, I think, in Action Comics.
I would agree with that, definitely.
Yeah. But overall, I think, there was some great stuff in this.
Great stuff.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So
big fan.
That's Action Comics, sorry.
That's Action Comics
1000. How dare I?
How dare you?
That's gonna about do it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Where I'm still at WonderCon and Superman has pockets. That's about it.
Yeah, Superman apparently fucking carries shit around in his pockets. Or in his cape, I'm sorry.
Yes.
He puts things in his cape. Whole outfits.
Which is crazy.
Changes of clothes.
I mean, how do you do that? Like, how's it flow in the wind then?
You know, in all those panels you see of Superman just floating there and his cape is just flapping in the wind and it looks flat?
Yeah, there's cape. No, there's shit in there.
He's got changes of clothes and presents and machines just in there.
Maybe he's the best at like Tetris and he's able to fit it in the exact right way to where it looks
That's his real superpower.
Wow. Yeah. Should we talk about what we even have books-wise next week? I can just...
if you want to, real quick.
Okay, here we go. We got Black Hammer 45, number 2. Die, number 5. The Green Lantern, number 6. Immortal Hulk, number 16. That series just goes. Damn. Justice League, number 21. Doug, are you doing it?
I'm going to keep reading it, yeah.
Okay.
Through this arc.
Because that last issue had a lot of exposition again. Night Moves, that was mine. Never mind. I'm reading Night Moves. Section 0, number 1, which was described as X-Files meets Jack Kirby.
Yeah, I'm picking that up.
I put that on there. I was like, Doug's probably gonna get that.
Yeah.
Then we have War of the Realms, number 1, which I don't think I'm gonna get.
I'm so out of the loop on the Thor and Avengers stuff at this point that I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's too bad. We won't have any coverage on that, so sorry, folks. Yeah. But we have big weeks. Big lanterns is what I was going to say. We have
big lanterns. Big week, big lantern.
Big week, big lantern. Good. But yeah.
Okay. That's going to do it. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Absolute biggest thing you can do for us if you like the show is give us a review or star rating on iTunes. Tell someone about the show. We release episodes on Sundays, so check back in next week or subscribe to the show. And it'll come right to your phone.
Absolutely. You can do the subscriptions on a number of podcast apps, including iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, a lot of stuff. Whichever one you prefer, we've got you covered. In the meantime, for the next episode, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook under the handle @ComicsCovered. I'll be posting a lot of stuff. Oh, and also on our new Instagram @ComicsCovered.
Yep.
Got to change this rundown. I will be posting a lot of stuff in the next couple days from this is on Sunday. I'll be posting a lot of stuff today also. And I have been posting a lot of stuff this weekend from WonderCon 2019. Also check out Doug's unboxing. How do they check that out, by the way?
It's on Twitter.
It's on Twitter. Do it. It's funny. You can also find web archives of all our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com and on our YouTube channel. We have video versions on Facebook as well. But if you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback, send us a message on one of those social media things, Instagram including, or at our email, comicscovered@gmail.com.
Just a reminder, I guested on Mashing Buttons.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
It's a video game podcast. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about Google Stadia, if you know what that is.
I don't.
Yeah, we talked about Sekiro, the new From Software game. I talked a bunch about Hitman because I'm about a year behind in video games. So
what did you drink, Doug?
Hitman 2. We drank whiskey and we drank whiskey ginger and then shots of whiskey. I do not recall what the whiskey was.
Well, that's what alcohol will do to you, isn't it?
We drank, we talked about video games, we opened mystery boxes from C2E2. It's a good time. Check that out. That will, I believe, have posted by the time this episode goes up, and if not, it'll be coming out shortly over this weekend.
Amen.
So so check that out. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. I'm a mystery box.
Oh wow. I will be leaving you closed. I am Doug.
Oh shit. Okay.
And this has been Comics Covered.